welcome again to What's Brewing with ONTAP. I am Eduardo Rivera, and today we'll talk about ONTAP. Now, like I've done before, here is what's brewing today for me: some coffee, my nice little NetApp 25-year anniversary mug. Again, I'm doing this in the morning, so it's coffee, not beer. But in any case, let's talk about ONTAP. Last episode, I gave you a brief recap of why do we use it, why do I care, what role does it play in our day-to-day data management life as storage administrators within NetApp IT. And today I want to dig a little deeper into that, right? So we talk about why ONTAP is cool, but what does it actually do, right? And if you're new to ONTAP, hopefully this will give you a quick overview. Now, ONTAP's core is about data management, right? It's an operating system that empowers applications and users to manage and store data efficiently, right? And what does it stand apart? Well, it's an operating system that's existed for over 25 years with 25 years of innovation into it. And these innovations over time really have, if I'm going to summarize it, which is hard to do in a very short period of time, but if I summarize it, there's three big pillars to it, right? One is data availability, data protection, second, and I'll say data efficiency at the third. Now, there's a lot that goes into these three pillars, but I want to touch base on a couple highlights of each one of these. On the data availability side, what do I mean by that? Well, ONTAP itself is built nowadays to really support clusters of physical storage arrays and even clusters of virtual arrays on the cloud, right? So the ability to empower and allow continuous operations, even in the light of upgrades or other maintenance activities that happen behind the scenes. At the same time, one of the biggest selling points for ONTAP, and I think one of the things that we are most fond about, is that it's multilingual, right? So when it comes to data availability, I can address my data on the same storage platform. So again, we have a OS that allows non-disruptive operations, access to multiple types of storage connectivity, on an ongoing basis. And I should mention, scales out, right? It's the idea of adding more nodes, providing more scalability and more growth as needs change over time. Now, on the data protection side, what do I mean? Well, the technology of snapshots have been around for a very long time. And in fact, it's one of the marquee technologies that NetApp put forth many, many years ago. And snapshots, in the layman's terms, allows you to really create immediate copies, light copies, I'll say, with no real storage consumed of your data on a schedule basis, on an on-demand basis, to allow you to have point-in-time restore points for anything that may happen. If your data gets corrupted or something happens to it, you can just restore from a snapshot instantaneously. At the same time, from a data protection perspective, we empower the replication of this data from one site to the other, whether that's the same data center, across data centers, across clouds, using protocols like SnapMirror, which is based on snapshot technology, the ability to copy data on a block-by-block basis to allow very efficient copies of data across large networks. It's the basis, or in our case, for a lot of our backup and long-term retention policies and also DR capabilities, right? And last but not least, on data protection, I mean, there's again many things in there, but another thing that's very popular these days that we use a lot is SnapLock, right? So in addition to be able to create snapshots and replicate the data across sites, we now have also the ability to lock down data that needs to be highly protected. And by locking down, I mean, we prevent any type of manipulation, whether that's intentional or accidental, of that data through a technology called SnapLock, which essentially creates these read-only copies of data, which are time-locked to the system and unable to be altered even by an administrator. Now, moving on from there, data efficiency. Data efficiency, when I think about efficiency, I think about the efficiency of storing the data, but also think about performance. And when I think about the efficiency in terms of storing the data, well, ONTAP today brings inline deduplication, inline zero-block deduplication, adaptive compression, post-process compression, and other background processes for duplication and compression, depending on your data type. So it really allows you to, without you thinking about it, compress, deduplicate, reduce the physical space that data takes in your array. Therefore, extending the life and extending the utility of what you have in your hands. For us in NetApp IT, if it wasn't for these technologies, I think it would be probably inconceivable to store as much capacity as we serve if it was all uncompressed and undeduplicated. At the same time, when I think about efficiency, I think about performance, and I think about the onset that have for a few years now, all flash arrays, and then the ONTAP side, we're talking about all flash fast. So all flash fast brings to the table everything that ONTAP does for data management on, I'll say, a different scale performance, right? This all flash arrays today from NetApp are boasting NVMe drives with some crazy speeds. So when I think about efficiency and we think about what's happening in our data centers, we're replacing literally tiles of data center space of old mechanical drives with very dense, very powerful all-flash arrays that not only deliver more efficient power and space, but also have changed the name in terms of performance. Nowadays, the new normal performance with this all AFFs is really everything is served at sub-millisecond latency. In some cases, we're talking about 100 microsecond latency. So efficiency is not just about storing data, but it's also how well we serve it. Not to mention that everything that we just covered, and I discovered very quickly, are features of the operating system itself that not only apply to what you have on premises as storage arrays, as I mentioned, or flash fast and whatnot, but also things in the cloud, like with CVO and other technologies that we have out there. So really, it's empowering today, and this is again one of the reasons why ONTAP stands up, empowering today your ability to build a hybrid cloud ecosystem, taking advantage of the data management technologies that ONTAP brings to the table. And with that, I'll say thank you for being with us, and I'll see you guys next time.